Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya Aviravirmayedhi Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Akhandam Satchidanandam Avang Manasagocharam Atmanam Akhiladharam Asraye Bhishta Siddhai. May we be protected, may we be nourished, may we strive with energy and vigor. May our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om peace, peace, peace. Lead us to truth and not to untruth. Lead us to enlightenment and not ignorance. Lead us to immortality and not death. Let the self-manifest Atman grow in me. Om peace, peace, peace. I take refuge in the self, the individual, the existence, consciousness, bliss absolute, beyond the reach of words and thought, and the substratum of all, for the attainment of my cherished desire. So we are studying Vedantasara. Vedantasara. Veda, knowledge, end or gist of knowledge, and that also the crux, the essential points of Vedanta. So that is what we are studying. Now, what is the beauty of this? The beauty is there is no need of taking for granted or to have a faith or just following a scripture or following a dictum, not scripture, following a dictum. That means in other path there must be a faith. You must have a faith. But here what we do, we go with rationality, robust common sense, and also it is totally realization based. We don't need any other instrument but this self. So that is main point here. So what is that? Somehow we think that we are bound. Somehow we think we are small. Somehow we think that we are limited. But actually we are not. We are unlimited, nitya, eternal, shuddha, pure, buddha. Buddha means intelligent. So this understanding we have to restore. So what we need? We need ourselves, and we need the understanding that yes, what is being said is real. It is not that you have to have faith or belief. No. What we need a very sharp common sense based on which we can understand, yes, we are that. So what is the root cause of all our difficulties? Root cause of all our difficulties is we think that we cannot have something here. We cannot achieve something here, but we need to go out and achieve in the world. And then we are entangled. Then we are bound there. So this is the problem. How this happens? Now this happens because of our ignorance. Ignorance means not knowing correctly. We have certain knowledge. We cannot deny it. We know something, but we know in a limited point of view. So in devotion what happens? In devotion, Guru says, okay, You meditate on your Ishta, chosen ideal. And while meditating, you forget yourself. And what you meditate? You meditate on effulgent truth, on an ideal. And by meditating on Him, gradually you forget yourself, your small self, your limited self. So, this is the beauty here. Now, everything is here. Now, the, the thing is, we can ask a question, when this ignorance started? When it started, it cannot be said. See, in your dream, you cannot say when your dream started. So that's why we say anadi. Anadi means beginningless. And what it is like, can you explain? When you're dreaming, you cannot explain what dream is. That's why it is called anirvachaniya. It cannot be explained. Somehow it happens. How magic happens? It happens because of our ignorance. What is ignorance? You cannot explain what is ignorance. Whatever we see as truth, but it is not truth. So this is called anirvachaniya. Then comes trigunatmika. Trigunatmika, that means it has three binding forces, sattva, rajas and tamas. Because of that we are bound. Sattvas, tamas and rajas, when we are entangled in this world, then we are like inert. Like when we sleep, somehow we like it and we want to sleep more. So this entanglement is tamasic. Tamasic. And when we are working, we are alcoholic. We cannot stop ourselves. So that is called rajasic. And sattvic means when we are not that much entangled, but we have certain ignorance. That is sattvic. So trigunatmikam. But this has something there. Magic has some power. That's why we are confused. It is not that it is total void. It is like this. If somebody says, I'm telling you the truth, and he tells a false, a false statement, but we believe it, a lie, but we believe it when he says, yes, I'm telling you the truth. Yeah, we believe it. So there is some power there. Bhavarupam yatkanchit. And but what happens? Jnana virodhi. When we bring knowledge, then ignorance goes away. That means it cannot stand rationality, it cannot stand knowledge. So this is the essential qualifications of ignorance. Now, we have another few points we have discussed. What is that? That there is collective, say like we are now here. So it is collective. We feel this world. You also see this world, this classroom. So that means we have some collective things, collective ajnan, and we have individual ajnan also. So this is Vyashti and Samashti that we have understood. Now we are in we have completed up to 48. Oh, before we proceed, let us read from the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. When I start, I forget. David?
Yes, Swami.
Okay, read.
You see, if we really have undergone the above discipline, we really do not require anything else in this world. All knowledge is within us. All perfection is there already in the soul. But this perfection has been covered up by nature. Layer after layer of nature is covering this purity of the soul. What have we to do? Really, we do not develop our souls at all. What can develop the perfect? We simply take the evil off, and the soul manifests itself in its pristine purity, its natural, innate freedom.
So what is the point? Point is, this divinity is already within us. What we remove? We remove only ignorance. If I do not know something, say I have $1 billion, but I don't know. So I cannot use it. To have that the power of $1 billion, I must know this. So this is important. What we remove? We remove ignorance of $1 billion. Then it is there in my hands, then I can use it. Yes.
Now begins the inquiry. Why is this discipline so necessary? Because religion is not attained through the ears, nor through the eyes, nor yet through the brain. No scriptures can make us religious. We may study all the books that are in the world, yet we may not understand a word of religion or of God. We may talk all our lives and yet may not be the better for it. We may be the most intellectual people the world ever saw, and yet we may not come to God at all.
Prepared, then only we can conceive higher thoughts. Say for engineering, you must have some background, then only you understand engineering. Medical knowledge, you must have some bank of knowledge on which you can understand further how the cells work, how the animal, what are the essential components, and then only human being, what are the various organs, how it functions, and then how any disease comes and how that can be treated. So all these comes. So what is the preparation is very important. Without preparation, one cannot have that. So here what is the preparation? To cultivate purity of self. How to cultivate purity of self? Swamiji has already said. How? That first you have to see what is real in this world and what is not real. So one should be very discriminating. Discriminating means one should be very alert in this world. Because all the time it is mixture of everything. Satyanrite mithunikritva. Truth, untruth is mixed up. What we have to do, we have to train our eyes to see only truth. And then the second thing is to discard what is not truth. So nityanitya vastu vivek, ihamutra phava. And enjoyment, why we are bound with in this world. We want to enjoy. Good words, we don't want. We want to, short talk, small talk, and we enjoy for hours together. So, what we have to cultivate, that whatever enjoyment that we seek in the world, that is to be cultivated, seeing that it is not real. It is not real. So this is, and then Shamadamadi Shat Sampatti that we have already studied. So these are preparation. Preparations are very important. Yes.
When there is conflict between the heart and the brain, let the heart be followed, because intellect has only one state, reason, and within that, intellect works and cannot get beyond. It is the heart which takes one to the highest plane, which intellect can never reach. It goes beyond intellect and reaches to what is called inspiration.
So one thing, see, intellectually what we do, we dissect. Intellect is very sharp, so we dissect everything. Heart, what is the work of heart? It joins. When you see human being, so as Nitya Nitya Vastu, what is real, what is not real. After that, we need to find what is behind all these diverse forms. So there comes the function of heart. Through heart, we realize. Through heart, we love. And when we love, we feel. So that feeling is very important. So only intellectual understanding is not enough. Rather, we need to feel. We need to have that sense of unity. And that should be realized. So this is the function of heart. Yes.
Intellect can never become inspired. Only the heart, when it is enlightened, becomes inspired. An intellectual, heartless man never becomes an inspired man. It is always the heart that speaks in the man of love. It discovers a greater instrument than intellect can give you, the instrument of inspiration. Just as the intellect is the instrument of knowledge, so is the heart the instrument of inspiration. In a lower state, it is a much weaker instrument than intellect. An ignorant man knows nothing, but he is a little emotional by nature. Compare him with a great professor. What wonderful power the latter possesses. But the professor is bound by his intellect, and he can be a devil and an intellectual man at the same time. But the man of heart can never be a devil. No man with emotion was ever a devil. Properly cultivated, the heart can be changed and will go beyond intellect. It will be changed into inspiration. Man will have to go beyond intellect in the end. The knowledge of man, his powers of perception, of reasoning and intellect and heart, all are busy churning this milk of the world. Out of long churning comes butter, and this butter is God. Men of heart get the butter, and the buttermilk is left for the intellectual.
Only, when one feels something, there is only one difficulty, that is sentimentalism. We must not be sentimental. That means we have to understand, at the same time we have to feel. But feeling should not be tainted by our liking and disliking. So this is the only thing that we should be careful of. That means we should not be entangled ourselves. While feeling, we have to feel the love, but that should be impersonal. It is not that we relate with ourselves, liking and disliking. Yes.
These are all preparations for the heart, for that love, for that intense sympathy appertaining to the heart. It is not at all necessary to be educated or learned to get God. A sage once told me, to kill others one must be equipped with swords and shields, but to commit suicide a needle is sufficient. So to teach others, much intellect and learning are necessary, but not so for your own self-illumination. Are you pure? If you are pure, you will reach God. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. If you are not pure, and you know all the sciences in the world, that will not help you at all. You may be buried in all the books you read, but that will not be of much use. It is the heart that reaches the goal. Follow the heart. A pure heart sees beyond the intellect. It gets inspired. It knows things that reason can never know. And whenever there is conflict between the pure heart and the intellect, always side with the pure heart, even if you think what your heart is doing is unreasonable. When it is desirous of doing good to others, your brain may tell you that it is not politic to do so, but follow your heart, and you will find that you make less mistakes than by following your intellect. The pure heart is the best mirror for the reflection of truth. So all these disciplines are for the purification of the heart. And as soon as it is pure, all truths flash upon it in a minute. All truth in the universe will manifest in your heart if you are sufficiently pure.
Yeah. So that purity of heart, what is that? Without any entanglement. Asangoham. Like that. Asangoham, 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 punah punah. Asango abhyaham, ajoham, punah punah. Sachidananda rupoham, um, aham advayam. So this is, I am asanga. The purity of heart should be cultivated. At the same time, how to do that? It is by detachment. Detachment means not to be entangled. Our liking, disliking, it comes all the time. We cannot get rid of it. Very, very difficult. But we have to be alert. And when heart is purified, then only we can understand what is this world and the what is Maya, how we are entangled. So this goes, like it is like um, depending on each other. As we grow pure, so we go beyond this entanglement. So anyway, we go to our text. It is 49th. Can you call him that to display? So today we'll talk about the two powers of Ajnana. One is Avarani Shakti, veiling power, and Vikshepa Shakti. That 49th. So two things we have seen. One is called collective. One is individual. So one says, example is vana. Vana means forest. And vriksha means individual tree. Now, there are few isms. Avachedavad and Pratibimbavad. Now, whatever we are pure. But that purity falls on this Maya. The Maya means ignorance. So when it falls, it looks like it is broken. It is limited. But it is not limited. It is full, incomplete. So that's a pratibimba. Say like a space. Space when reflected in a mirror. It looks like it is limited with that. But is the space limited? It is not. So it is as if reflected on a reflecting surface. That means mirror. So when this consciousness is reflected in us means, that means whatever we understand about ourselves. So that's called chitta. Chitta means it is like consciousness. So it is, we can understand through, say, magic. Magic, that means the consciousness of a magician, he tries to project. And through his skill, he projects his consciousness and he deludes us. Similarly, when we see dream, what happens? Our consciousness is reflected in our dream and we create various kinds of things and then we are deluded. Or we see dream. So here similarly, consciousness is reflected. That's why Pratibimbavad. Pratibimba means the reflection. And second is Avachedavad. That means Avachhed means it is being limited, as it were. Two more things are there. One is called Vivarana and Bhamati. Vivarana means when all the delusion is gone, but still we can say, it is like this. So that's Vivarana. So when the reflection is gone, that means the reflection is not there, reflecting material is not there. But we that way we can understand what is our real nature. So anyway, that is, and then Bhamati also, there is another way of understanding. We go to the text. Vana vrikshavat avachinna akashayoh jalashaya jala tadgata pratibimba akashayor आधारभूत अनुपहित आकाशवत् अनयोः अज्ञान तदुपहित चैतन्योर आधारभूतम तदनुपितम चैतन्यम तत्तुरीयम इत्युच्यते शांतम शिवम अद्वैतम चतुर्थम मन्यते स आत्मा स विज्ञेय. So what is Atma? What is the self? What is to be known? So that is being said, like the unlimited Akash. Akash means space, unlimited. The space is unlimited, which is the substratum of the Akasha, enclosed by the forest and the trees, or of the Akasha which is reflected in the water. So Akasha, we can say individually, say this space is enclosing me, and the space outside, that is also enclosing you and me. So as if space is enclosing us. So individually some space is there, and collectively some space. See, I have some space, you have some space, you have some space, and collectively it is engulfing or enclosing. So like the unlimited, so this Akasha means space, is unlimited. But as if it is enclosing me, enclosing you, or collectively enclosing all of us. So like the unlimited Akasha, which is the substratum of the Akasha, that means the original Akasha is not entangled. It is only apparently enclosing us by the forest and the trees, or of the Akasha which is reflected in the water. So say one drop of water, Akasha is reflected. And in a water body, space is reflected. So space is not entangled there. And this Akasha which is reflected in a drop of water is the same reflection of the same Akasha which is in a water body. The space is not different. That is the point. Which reflected in the water and reservoir, there is an unlimited consciousness. Similarly, I have some consciousness, say little. I am conscious about my consciousness, you are conscious about your consciousness, you are conscious about your consciousness. So this consciousness is not entangled, rather this is undivided. Though it may look like it is divided. Like space, when it is being reflected in water, a drop of water, and space when it is reflected in water body, it looks like different, but actually it is same Akasha, same space. Similarly, this consciousness is the same, which is the substratum of the aggregate and the individual ignorance. So aggregate, so I have ignorance, you have ignorance. Ignorance of what? Same consciousness. One is not aware of one's consciousness, that is ignorance. So when it is collective, it is called Ishvara. And when it is individual, it is called prajna. Associated with them, this is called the. And when it is not attached, when we see from the absolute point of view, say space is not entangled with me. The absolute space is not entangled with anyone. So that is called chaturtha, that means fourth, turiyam. Yad anupahitam chaitanya. Anupahita means whatever is not entangled, whatever is not associated. So that is called anupahita. Tat turiyam ittuchyate. That is turiya. Turiyam is fourth. Now let us recapitulate. As of now, we have individual consciousness, but we are not aware of it. Similarly, we have collective consciousness, and something is not even entangled. See, space is not entangled. It may look like it is divided, but it is not divided. Space is not divided. So there is that part which is not entangled, not associated. So that is called fourth. Okay, let us think another way. As of now, we all are aware, or we are in waking state. In waking state, right? And then we go to sleep. So that is called swapna state. That means dreaming state. One is called jagrata, waking state. Second is swapna state, that means dreaming state. And third is dreamless state. So all these jagrata, swapna and sushupti, waking, dreaming and dreamless state reside in something which is not entangled, which is not associated. Just imagine, say like we are sitting here, you are sitting there. But this, even the earth is in the space. So that which is holding everything, that is called fourth. Is it understandable? Say we have 4 stages. One is called waking state, one is called dreaming state, and one is called dreamless state. But there is another state when we are not dreaming, we are not we are, say, beyond, say, everything is held there. Because of that we wake, because of that we dream, because of there we experience dreamless state. So that is the fourth. Why it is fourth? Because no name is given. If we give a name, that means we have limited that by a word, but we don't want to limit. That's why it is called fourth. Now, what is the evidence of this? So evidence is in Mandukya Upanishad. Mandukya Upanishad says, Shivam, Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam, Chaturtham Manyate, Sa Atma, Sa Vijnana. Only that is to be known. That is the self. So, what is Jagrata? What is waking state? I have consciousness, you have consciousness, and you are aware that you are in waking state. Right? What is dream state? You are aware that you are dreaming. What is dreamless state? You are aware that there is no object, but you are there. So this awareness is in all. So awareness is the common thing. Whether it is in waking state, dreaming state, dreamless state, I am aware. That which is not associated with it, that is the fourth. Understandable? say you are in waking state, right? How you know that you are waking? You have this awareness, right? You are aware that you are now in waking state. You can see this class, you can see this light, this hall. So you are aware of all these. When you dream, this whole world will vanish. But you are there. How you know? You are aware of your own self. Because of that awareness, you dream. So awareness is there. Now also awareness is there. Now, after that, dreams go away. You are not dreaming anymore, dreamless sleep. But you are aware of it. How you know? Because next day you say, oh, I slept very well, I did not know anything. So this awareness is common in all. And it is not associated with waking, not associated with dreaming, not associated with dreamless state. This awareness is unentangled, not associated. So that is the fourth. On this awareness, all our experiences are being experienced. So that is, what is that? Shivam. Shivam means auspicious. Shantam. Shantam means it is peaceful. Peaceful means, see, I am talking. I am talking. So, talking is started. So when I am saying talking, so I have started and I have ended also. How it is existing? Before my talking there was peace. And when I stop talking, there is peace. I am breaking peace as it were. But when I am speaking, that time also peace is existing. So peace is common. Peace exists without any entanglement, any association, any distortion, any projection. So it is all the time there. We are not aware of it. What is the purpose of this study? To be aware of that which is undistorted, unentangled, which is not associated with anything. We have to recognize that. Say we are not aware that we are sitting on ground, on earth. Actually we are sitting in the universe. And we are moving, say 65,000 miles per hour. But we are not aware of it. What we are doing, we are trying to be aware of it. So here, fourth is that one. What is fourth? Shantam, peaceful. How it is Shantam? Say I am speaking before my speech and after my speech is the same peacefulness. And when I am speaking also that silence is there. Silence in the beginning, silence at the end. And when I am speaking, I am breaking silence as it were. But I cannot break silence. So silence is all pervading. We are trying to educate ourselves to see that silence. So Shantam, Shivam. Shivam means auspicious. This is auspicious. And when it entangles, then it is not auspicious. So it is auspicious, Shivam, Advaitam. And it is unbreakable. It is non-dual. We don't say one, because then two comes. So non-dual. Okay, is this complete? When we see from this side, this is the way. But it depends on the observer. When mind wants to observe as many, So for mind, that is real. So what I am saying, in Upanishad we find both Dvaita and Advaita and Vishishtadvaita, all kinds of ideas. So we cannot limit the truth. Truth, we say is it exists. We say it does not exist. We cannot limit. From our understanding as of now, we cannot limit what it is that fourth. Only these are signs and symptoms. These are only, it is called tatastha lakshana. That means, say suppose you cannot see a river. So you ask, where is that river? So if somebody knows where is the river, say, you see that tree? Yes, just below that. So you cannot indicate what Brahman is. But what you do, you have some certain signs and symptoms, by that you indicate. But indication has got limitation. So when we see Advaita, Advaita is the closest. Why? Because that is all pervading, on whom everything exists. But when we say Advaita, we don't want to limit by that. It cannot be limited. That is why Sri Ramakrishna said, what is Brahman cannot be spoken. Tar iti kora jaya na. We cannot say he is this much and not this. So Brahman is Advaita, Brahman is Dvaita, Brahman is Vishishtadvaita, and so other things. It's unlimited, unthinkable. So Shivam Advaitam, only that from that sense. Chaturtham manyate, the fourth. That's why we don't limit also, we say fourth. We have waking state, dreaming state, dreamless state, and we have fourth. On fourth, all these, say I am dreaming, I am waking, I am in dreamless sleep. All these are possible because of the fourth. What is that fourth? We can say, okay, from distance, we can say that it is peaceful. Because this is the substratum. Shivam, it is auspicious. And it is non-dual. And it is fourth. That much we can say. Like the unlimited akasha, space, which is the substratum of the enclosed space by the forest and the trees, or the akasha space which is reflected in the water and reservoir, there is an unlimited consciousness which is the substratum of the aggregate and the individual ignorance. So, there is an unlimited consciousness which is the substratum of the aggregate and the individual ignorance, as well as of the consciousness of Ishvara and Prajna. Ishvara and Prajna means when we are in dreamless state, that's called Prajna, and when it is collective, it is called God, Ishvara. Associated with them, this is called fourth, as in such Shruti passage as that which is tranquil, auspicious, and without a second. That is the wise conceive of as the fourth aspect. He is the self. He is to be known. It is said, Atmai veketha janatha anya vacha vimunchata. Know Atman alone. Leave all other vain talks. We have lots to talk about. And it is all blah, blah, blah. It has no meaning. But we enjoy that. And it is difficult to think. Therefore, we don't want to think. It is easy to talk about. So, this is the problem. We have such a tendency that whenever we want to concentrate on the self, then our mind moves around here and there. That is why uh, in Bhakti Yoga, what is Bhakti Yoga? Guru gives a mantra and he also indicates your chosen ideal. What you do, you recite that mantra so that mind is arrested there. And you meditate on that form so that you forget your limited smallness or small form. And you are united with him. So this way you forget your small, limited, impure self. So this is the idea. So here what is being said, without informing about chosen ideal, it is being said it is fourth. So if someone who is following devotional path, if he understands what is the principle behind, then it is easier for him or her to comprehend. Trishu dhameshu yad bhogyam bhokta bhogascha yad bhavit tebhya vilakshana shakshi chinmatro ham sadashiva. Now there is a shloka here. Trishu dham. Dham means like, this is called bhuloka and bhuvaloka, and like many dhams are there. 7 up and 7 down. But in short we can say higher loka and lower loka. And this is called martya loka. Martya loka is mortal. So in all these three, yad bhogyam, whatever is enjoyable, we find so many things enjoyable. Why we find so many things enjoyable? Because of our ignorance. We don't know that those enjoyment will lead to suffering. But we want to enjoy and we suffer. So bhojyam, yad bhogyam, bhokta, and the sense of enjoyer. I am enjoying. I have so much of money. I have honor. I have earned respect. All these kinds of enjoyership. And sufferer also. And bhogascha, and bhog, whatever enjoyment and suffering both are included. Yad bhavet. Tebhya vilakshana. What is other than this? What is other than this sense of enjoyment and sense of enjoyer? What is that? On which all the enjoyment is possible. That is our awareness. That is called Shakshi. Shakshi means witness. So when somebody enjoys something, he is also witness of that enjoyment. And says, don't go. But the tendency drives us. And therefore we go there. Tebhya vilakshana shakshi chinmatroham sadashiva. Chinmatra. Only I am that awareness, consciousness. Sadashiva. All the time it is auspicious. So we go to the next. Idameva turiyam shuddha chaitanyam ajnanadi tad upahita chaitanya. So this is turiya. Turiya means fourth. What is turiya? Shuddham, pure. There is no entanglement, there is no adulteration. See, the silence, before I speak, the silence has no adulteration. And when I finish speaking, there is no adulteration. Pure. And when I am speaking also, I cannot adulterate. So, similarly, my consciousness, I am conscious about whatever exists. So this is Shakshi, witness. When witnesses something, that time also it is not adulterated, it is not affected, it is not limited. it witnesses. Rather, sometimes it says that don't do this. So this is awareness. Idameva turiyam. For 50. Idameva turiyam shuddha chaitanyam ajnana adi tad upahita chaitanya. So this awareness is associated with even ajnana. Say, when you say, I do not know, that means what? You are aware that you do not know. So this knowledge is witness of our ignorance also. This knowledge, this awareness, this consciousness is aware or conscious of our ignorance also. So upahita chaitanya, that means because of this awareness, we are aware of our ignorance also. Shuddha, this is pure chaitanya consciousness, ajnanadi, tad upahita chaitanya, chaitanyabhyam taptaya. Now example is given. Now, you touched water, or say maybe a hot iron piece. Oh, and you say, oh, this hot iron piece has burnt me. Or water scalded me. Hot water scalded me. Now think about it. Where is this heat come from? Was the water or the iron hot? It was not. It is not intrinsic. Then how it came? Because it came in contact with some hot, say fire. So the heat of fire is transformed or transmitted to that piece of iron or water. Then only it can scald, or then only it can burn. So heat is not intrinsic in water or in iron piece. Similarly, taptayah pindavat abhibhaktam. So generally in our common sense we don't understand. We say like, oh, because of the water has scalded me. But water cannot. It is the heat of the water. That we have to understand. San mahavakyasya vachyam viviktam sallaksham iti chochati. Similarly, there is a mahavakya. Aham brahmasmi or tat tvam asi. Thou art that. So thou art that. You are Brahman. You are Brahman. You are that. When we say you are that, what we indicate? We indicate that you are that same Brahman, not this physical being. Physical being has limitation, but your awareness part. Say, even in our day-to-day life also we say, we say, oh, you are the same caliph that we saw you say 15 years back. So 15 years back maybe you are young, now you have grown. So what we deduct mentally, the body and mind of that, say, young person, caliph, now grown-up person. So we deduct both and we compare the person in that body and person in this body. Similarly, mind also changed. We also don't indicate mind. Rather, the person that resided in that body and the person resides in this body. So when we say, Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. You are that Brahman. That means we indicate that truth, that awareness, that was, that is in this individual. It is the same awareness that is in Brahman. You are that. You individually, whatever you think you are, basis of that, that means the source of that is same thing as the source of the universal self. Source of this individual self is equal or same thing who is the source of the whole universe. So this is the indication. Vachyam. Mahavakya Vachyam Viviktam Sallaksham cha uchyati. So what is the translation? This pure consciousness which is known as the fourth, when not discriminated like a red hot. So if you don't discriminate, so what you'll do, you'll identify heat and the iron piece. You'll say, oh, it is the iron piece that burnt my finger. But it is not iron piece, it is the heat. So we are to discriminate, we are to understand heat portion, we are to understand the iron portion. So when we don't discriminate, that time we mingle or we mix up. But when we discriminate, then we can understand, oh, that's the fourth, the awareness part. Similarly, when we don't discriminate, we are entangled here. But when we can discriminate, we understand, I am pure self. And body, mind, this is all external. Mano buddhyankar chittani naham. I am not the mind. I am not the intellect. I am not the chitta. Then what am I? Shivoham, Shivoham. Mano buddhyankar chittani naham. Nacha sotram. What? Yeah. Nacha sotram jivhe, nacha dhrana netre, nacha brahmam bhumir na tejo na vayu, chidananda roop, chidananda sarupaha, shivoham, shivoham. What in reality am I? I am that Supreme Self, Chidananda, awareness, consciousness, bliss. That is my real nature. So, when you meditate on your Ishta, the same thing is happening. You are meditating that Chidananda Rupa. But it has a form to start with, it has a name to start with. Gradually, as you repeat, can go on repeating, you merge in him. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shiva. That time you won't remember that you have a mind, you have intellect, you have other avenues. So this is Turiyam. Vachyam Viviktam Sallakshmiti cha uchyati. This pure consciousness, which is known as the fourth, when not discriminated like a red hot iron ball from ignorance, and the consciousness with which it is associated becomes the direct meaning of the great Vedic dictum, and when discriminated, it gives us its implied meaning. So by discrimination, we are to see what is that reality behind all that is existing. What is the substratum behind every object, behind every perception? What is that reality? That is to be understood. Any question? Any question?
That which is not entangled, that creates this universe,
That does not create. Creator is called God. Creator, that means he has come closer to ignorance. He takes ignorance as power and he creates. Say, magician, when he does not create, is magician in his own glory. But when he wants to show magic, then he is a creator.
Is that an aspect of the unentangled?
Huh?
Is that God which creates an aspect of the unentangled?
Yes. Unentangled, even when we are ignorant, we are the same thing. But we are ignorant of our own real self. But regarding God, God understands, he takes that power, taking that power he creates. That's the concept of God. Let me give, as Sri Ramakrishna said. Sri Ramakrishna said that when Brahman is not creating, not preserving, not absorbing, like water, when water is placid, so it is like Brahman. And when it is moving, it is like Kali, personal God. In both the cases, awareness is there. But awareness is not creating, preserving, and absorbing. It is unattached. Bhuma. But when he takes his own power and creates, preserves, and absorbs, that is what we call God. What he creates individual.
God
So,
is the same as Shakti?
yeah. Okay. We'll share. Yes?
I got a question. So related to the red hot iron ball, the ball's not, the iron doesn't burn, it's the heat, but there's still a reaction behind the heat that causes that to get hot. So is there also along these lines a reaction, or there then has to,
Okay,
is there a cause?
reaction comes later, right? Here what is being said? You are to understand that iron piece and heat, these two are separate. When we are not alert, we say, oh, iron piece burnt my finger. But iron piece does not burn fingers. It is the heat that burns the finger. So first you have to segregate. Now, with this body mind complex, we say this is me. But actually this is only body, outer covering. Whatever is within me, that's my awareness, my consciousness. That is like heat. So you have to separate. You have to segregate these two separately. Let me try again. You see, I am speaking. How I am speaking? See, I am a person. I am taking help of my mind, my intellect, and my avenues. I am selecting words, and then I am using my speech to speak. But it is the person that speaks. This body, when it is dead, it does not speak. Even when it is sleeping, it does not speak. So it is the person that speaks. So first let us segregate these two. Body-mind complex and the awareness. It is the awareness that speaks. Actually, there is one aspect which is never entangled. One aspect is never entangled, that is fourth. That's called witness. So when I am speaking also, I am aware I am speaking. And I am aware that I should select right words. And if says, no, this is not right word, okay, change. So I change. So I am using my intellect to select words. So it is the person. You see how? Now Generally, what do we think? Oh, he's insulted me. Or he said this harsh word to me. We have to understand that what is that? That awareness is the cause. Because of the awareness, everything is happening. So that is that our reality. And that is not different. That is all, in all it is the same awareness. See, I exist, you exist. So existence is same. Only I think I exist here, you think you exist there. Existence is the same. Like space. It is my space, it is your space. But space is the same. That is why, say, suppose someone is sitting way, say, in Tucson, but still we are connected. So this awareness is the connection. That is the same. Okay. We'll say our prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsat Sri Ram Krishna